I feel like right now you are transforming, and I feel like you are becoming this Queen of Wands right now. I feel like you are setting yourself free. I think you're also returning back to your optimistic self. I feel like that's what it feels like, a return to yourself. I feel like you've, like I said, are undergoing a transformation. There was a lot of painful lessons that maybe you had to learn when it came to your career. Also, I feel like when it came to who you are, I feel like I'm hearing that some of you guys were selling yourself short or settling, and I feel like you're not doing that anymore. And I also feel like, too, because the Queen of Swords, maybe you also along the way had to learn how to make decisions with logic, being analytical instead of just going with your heart. I feel like this is what's happening, where you are setting yourself free. And I feel like there's some truth that's, I think, also going to be illuminated for you as well. But I keep feeling like the truth of who you are. I feel like you're not afraid to show up as your authentic self. That's what's happening. I feel like there's also a newfound confidence when it comes to just you in general, but also in your career. And I feel like Spirit is recharging you at this time. Like, I feel like Spirit is recharging you, also protecting you as you are undergoing this transformation. And I also, I'm feeling like I'm meant to tell you that it's okay, because the overall energy was the Two of Pentacles, and maybe there may be times where you feel a little like ungrounded, and Spirit is like, that's okay. Spend more time in nature, do things that ground you. It can be a lot to balance like this new version of you, you know, because I feel like you're still settling into this new version of you. I feel like you're very magnetic. I'm telling you, I feel like you're very magnetic, and new doors are about to start opening up for you. But it's almost like Spirit is like, we needed you to remember who you were. We needed to remind you of who you are, who you've always been. And I'm really proud of you, because, like I said, I feel like you're showing up as this Queen of Wands. But let's continue. So the next card that came out was the Ace of Wands, right? But it fell sideways. And I almost feel like, as I mentioned before, there's new beginnings that are about to unfold for you. But I feel like before these new beginnings happen, Spirit is wanting you to address, like I said, what you have been through. And I feel like Spirit is like, you cannot pass go. You cannot collect 200 until you finally start addressing like these emotions that you have suppressed. It's almost like Spirit does not want you to bring the old baggage from the stuff that has happened in your career into this new phase of your life. Spirit doesn't want you to do that. Spirit doesn't want you to act like everything is okay and to keep pushing and being like your workaholic self. Like, no, Spirit is like, we need you to actually, like, even if it is uncomfortable, even if it, like I said, makes you feel ungrounded, take your time. Spirit is not asking you to rush through this. If anything, you really can't rush through this. I feel like there's an old version of you dying out, and that's why Spirit is like, we need this. We need you to process these emotions that this old version of you is still carrying. I feel like that's what's happening, where Spirit is like, you're like in this phase where you're stepping more into being this Queen of Wands, being more confident within yourself, within your talents, within your skills and your abilities. But there's still old emotions that you're still embedded in you from, like I said, this past version that you're shedding. And Spirit is like, you cannot go into this new phase of your career until you address these wounds, until you fully have transformed from these, like I said, painful stuff that has happened in your career. And I feel like Spirit is like, I think you used to tend to just be like, I'm so focused, I'm so dedicated, I need to get to the next phase of my career, I'll process these emotions when I get the chance. And Spirit is like, no, we need you to stop operating like that. We need you to address these emotions, address your feelings, find that compassion for yourself when you realize just how much of a role you played in your own, like, things not working out in your career. Because I'm not going to say that everything was your fault, but we have to take accountability for our role in the situation. And I think that's what Spirit is like, before you go to the next level in your career, we're asking you right here, right now, even if it's so uncomfortable at times, we need you to process the stuff that you've been through. We need you to recognize these patterns because we're going to need you to respond differently in this new phase of your life. And it's also about learning, it's about making healthier decisions, but I feel like it's also about what is worth your time and energy to invest in. And I feel like in the past, because this was the last card, the Seven of Pentacles. I'm going to clarify, I got the King of Pentacles. This King of Pentacles status is here for you. This financial freedom, this, like I said, luxurious lifestyle, being able to spend the money, being able to make that money, generate more money for yourself. This is here for you. But Spirit is like, we are needing you in this new phase of your life. What things are you going to do differently? Like, we're needing you to weed out the things that do not serve you. And I feel like I'm hearing habits, like there's certain bad habits. I don't know if maybe procrastination is one of those bad habits. I don't know if waiting too long to act is another bad habit. I don't know if maybe I'm speaking to people who sometimes are afraid or uncomfortable when it comes to growth, but that's also a part of this new journey, this new phase for you. If you want to be in this King of Pentacles status, it's going to require you to do a lot of looking at what's working, looking at what's not working. It's going to require you to, like I said, hold yourself a lot more accountable. And it's going to require you to make those necessary adjustments once you see that. It's going to require you to make those necessary adjustments. It's also going to require you to pivot, to know when to pivot, to know when to adjust things, when to tweak things, when to also just be like, you know, I've done everything that I can possibly do. Maybe it's time for me to move on to a new manifestation, a new seed. I think this is what this phase of your career is about to be. It's knowing what to invest in, how long to invest in it, what is working, what's not working. Is this worth my time and energy? Because like I said, this new phase, I'm also noticing the mountains on this Two of Pentacles. There's going to be a lot of obstacles. I think that's where Spirit is like, we are needing you to be your most confident self. We are needing you to process the baggage from the past, because in this new phase of your life, in order to get to this King of Pentacles status, it's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot of patience. You being patient with yourself and patient with the process. I feel like that's what it is. You being patient with yourself. But I see this King of Pentacles happening for you. So that is what I have for your career. If this resonates, thank you for commenting down below. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for following. If you would like to work with me, the link is in my bio. And until next time, bye.